I found my prince, sharing my adventure in Costa Rica with you. Our first full day in Costa Rica was more than jam-packed. Jungle intrigue, memorable experiences, helpful stops, 1 national park, and 2 unforgettable private tours. Would I see my little green prince on the jungle night tour that we were taking tonight? In my first video on this incredible 5 action-filled days in Costa Rica, bucket list bound, I introduced you to this Central American gem. Our first night in the country presented a little downside on the accommodation aspect, but a superb fresh seafood dinner and a splash in the surf at sunset on the Pacific coast in Punta Arenas. And this all made for a picture-perfect evening. Today started with a Costa Rican latte and a couple hours hiking at Parque National Carara. In the first video, I jumped ahead to the extreme Crocodile adventure, which was one of 3 private tours we chose to take on this journey in Costa Rica. I now want to fill you in on the rest of what we squeezed into this, our first full day on the Pacific coast side of Costa Rica. A quick little geo-socio lesson. San Jose is the largest city and situated centrally in the country. This is where most folks fly into Costa Rica. Our first evening drew us west to the Pacific coast, traveling through the dry forest. Since this was March, we were visiting during the dry season. If you were wondering, the rainy season is May to November. Frankly, I was wondering where the lush Costa Rica I'd seen in the pictures was as we drove the toll road from San Juan to Punta Arenas yesterday afternoon. Today, as we traveled south towards Quepos, also on the Pacific coast, we would see more greenery as the rainforest region lies more to the south and quickly presented itself. Costa Rica is not considered a third world country any longer. I'm not going to get into a geopolitical lesson, but I do want to let you know that in 2021, Costa Rica officially became a member of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. This is often referred to as the Club of Developed Nations, marking a significant shift away from the third world label. Costa Rica boasts a literacy rate over 97% and the life expectancy is 80 years. As a point of reference, Texas's literacy rate is 81%. Costa Rica is proud to be one of the safest countries in Latin America. Enough of the serious stuff. Now let's get to the national park. Carara National Park is 90 kilometers from San Jose on the Costanera Sur. That's the southern coastal highway. The main park entrance is located 2 kilometers from the Charcoles River Bridge on the road to Jaco. Carara means river of lizards in the Hatar indigenous language. Since September 2023, day passes must be purchased online. We bought ours through the government website, SINAC. The website is cumbersome, but just persevere. There are a handful of private tour operators that will take you on an in-depth educational tour, and plenty will greet you in the parking lot. The regular price for an adult day pass is $10 US, but the guided tours are upwards of $70 plus per person. We chose to do our own thing. Carara National Park is among the most popular bird-watching spots in all of Costa Rica. It is home to the country's largest population of scarlet macaws, which we did not see. We're not big birders, so we hiked most of the trails in a fairly rapid fashion because we only had a little over 2 hours to spend at this park. I almost forgot to tell you, you will receive confirmation of your tickets via email, which you can store on your phone, or I chose to print it out. You will also be required to show not only your ticket confirmation, but your passport at the Centro para Visitantes. That's the visitor center. As we have visited around 300 national and state parks in the U.S., we are sort of spoiled as far as maintenance. Don't expect the same at this particular park. There are 5 trails, one of which is universal. We would call it handicap accessible. We hiked all of the universal, Las Aracias, Quebrada Bonita, Ecosystem Meeting Point Trail, and a good part of the Quebrada Bonita Creek Sendero. Sendero means trail. We kept our ears open and our eyes scanning for movement in the brush and trees. We came across a lot of ants for a hungry anteater to feast upon. Oh my goodness, look at all the ants. Look at all the ants. This is nuts. This tree was incredible. I spotted this baby basilisk, and Paul spotted this adult on the riverside. Do you ever wonder what these animals are thinking? These silly humans gawking at them and snapping photos. Some people pay big bucks to see these guys. The park brags of 480 kinds of plants, 124 kinds of reptiles, 112 kinds of mammals, and 62 kinds of amphibians, and 420 kinds of birds. We saw quite a few gorgeous birds. Let's just listen to the sound of the jungle with the highway not far away. Doesn't this look just like something you'd find at Hobby Lobby? We turned our attention to the rustling on the side of the trail and discovered this mom and baby agouti. It's a rodent. I think it looks like a squirrel and like a big hamster, but it's just a rodent. Look at these leafcutter ants. These creatures are wild and very industrious. As I mentioned earlier, this section of the country was very dry still. The park was not busy as we were in there by 7:15 a.m. But by the time we were leaving at 9:20, a number of tour groups were just entering the main trail. I was glad that we had not taken the time or spent over $200 for a guided tour at Carara. I'm sure the tours can be rewarding, but not for us. Not here. We need to move on. We had 19 minutes to get to Jose's Crocodile River Tour. If you have not watched part 1 of my Costa Rican adventure, I recommend you do that next. You will be astonished. Now it was time to head south. Our destination was an Airbnb near Manuel, Antonio, Quepos. This 50 or so mile trip would take an hour and a half or more depending on traffic and chosen pullovers. We pulled into a local bank in Garabito to exchange $300 US for 138,300 colones. The exchange rate is around 460 to 470 to 1, depending on where you make the transaction. Local currency makes purchases with entrepreneurs easier and is all a part of your international experience. The Banco Nacional de Costa Rica shared a parking lot with Burger King and KFC. Nope, rather starve. Spotting the eye-catching Jaco sign, we had to pull over to get a few photos, of course, and a view of the beautiful skyline across the bahia, or bay, was cool. Right after seeing a dead sloth on the side of the road, we pulled over at this farm stand in this lady's front yard. The guys wanted to turn around to go see the dead sloth, but my paranoia kicked in and I said, what if they think we hit it and killed it? The thought of our trip being delayed for a dead sloth overrode our curiosity. We will see a sloth tomorrow. You will too when you watch the next video in my Costa Rican adventure. Would you have turned around? Tell me the truth. The gentlewoman did not speak English, and this was another point in time where Paul's experience and fluency in Spanish shined. We purchased a watermelon, a couple of mangoes, plus a quart-sized cup of cut-up chilled pineapple and a quart of cut-up cantaloupe with our colognes. We got all that for less than $20 American money. We'd be babysitting that watermelon, garnering ice and stowing it in a bag in the floorboard for a couple of days. And of course, a fresh coconut for the road she'd punched so we could drink the amazing coconut water. This was the best coconut with the most volume of water we had ever bought in any tropical location. The flavorful cut-up fruit would buy us some time, empty belly-wise, until we got to Quepos. Next pull-off, photos at the Parque town sign. These signs are so beautiful. We couldn't check into our Airbnb until 3, so we indulged in a very late lunch at Bamboo Jam. The fries were amazing. While we waited on our food, which was a little longer than we expected since we were the only ones there, I snapped these great pics of an iguana living his best life. In restaurants and hotels, there is a 13% value-added tax and a 10% tip is included in the final price. However, if you are exceptionally happy with the service and want to leave an additional gratuity, you're welcome to do so. Now up the hill and down a few blocks to the Bamboo Jungle House, less than 5 minutes away. These accommodations were a big improvement over last night. For this Airbnb came with a suicide shower. Yes, you heard me correctly. In Central and South America, do not expect a hot shower. Just room temp or maybe slightly better, and only if you have a heater on the shower head. The electrified heater mounted directly on the shower head can be shocking. One of us in the family has been shocked a few times. No names revealed to the guilty party. Water and electric wires aren't a good combination anywhere at any time. Use caution when encountering this apparatus. We had a few minutes to rest before our private jungle night walk, where I would no doubt see my prince. Well, at least the little green tree frog I'd hoped to see since high school. I guess it would be considered a high school crush? We chose the company that was rated the best guided night walk tour in Quepos. The tour package includes a ride to the private biosphere from area hotels and residences. While we were waiting for Aaron to pick us up, he had texted and told us he was delayed. We heard howler monkeys not far away. I swear they sound just like dinosaurs. Maybe that's where they get the sound of dinosaurs for the movies. I happened to turn around to see mama white-faced monkeys with babies on their backs traversing the power lines across the road. They were headed straight to our Bamboo Jungle House Airbnb. Paul ran that way as I walked the center of the street to get you these videos. Back to waiting for Aaron, we caught a pic of these beauties sitting on the sign of the hotel next door. Night had captured the evening as we arrived at the Biophilia Park for our 2-hour walking through the dark jungle tour. The tour operators offer a variety of other tours there. This night tour includes flashlights and an expert certified guide. That would be Aaron. Here is a montage of what we saw on this nighttime herping tour. Toads. Frogs. a molting cicada. And this cute, long-beaked bird, I'm sure he's trying to get a nap, and we were disturbing him. Aaron shined a black light on this scorpion. He looked turquoise. It was fabulous. Aaron had this spotting scope that we all had a turn looking through to see many of the creatures more clearly. You can buy your own scope like this for about $150. Speaking of spotting, we even spotted a caiman across the pond, but there was really no way to photograph it for you. Aaron demonstrated this clicking beetle for us. Aaron did a great job, and he made me smile a whole big bunch, as my daddy would say. Aaron's going to enter our travel story again. Unfortunately, we never saw a slithering snake, mainly because a neighbor's dog kept barking. This part made it all worth it. I cast my eyes on my little green prince. I don't think this little green guy has any idea of how I felt. What do you think? Little guy.
It's a male, you can tell by the size. More skinny, slender.
What are you saying?
That the women are bigger.
Women are bigger, yeah.
Hi. And what about this owl butterfly? His design and mimicry is astounding. It was 8 o'clock and we were hungry again. This has been a really eventful day. Paul found a terrific place to celebrate this perfect day. Ronnie's place. We had blown way past sunset, and seeing any great views of the ocean from this popular restaurant was not going to happen. But the ambiance was wonderful and our server was awesome. Fun tropical drinks, watermelon and cucumber gazpacho, and fried whole red snapper for me. I grew up eating whole fried red snapper, so this was like memory lane to when I first saw that little green tree frog in a picture decades ago in Houston and hoped to see one in person someday. That someday was today. If you have a dream of seeing something, make it happen while you can. These are my guys' meals. Back to the bamboo jungle house for a tepid shower with the electrified heater on the shower head. Yes, one of us got zapped. Costa Rica is a great place to visit, but I'd miss my hot showers and occasional steamy baths. Good night. Sleep tight. Bare feet finally under the sheets on an unclassic road trip to Costa Rica. I'd appreciate if you would subscribe and for sure leave me a comment on these videos. Tomorrow's adventure is going to be astonishing. Wait until you see our next Airbnb, and our dinner is going to be fabulous. We'll be celebrating Paul's birthday, and there will be more monkeys, sloths, and reptiles. I promise you won't want to miss that video, so be sure to hit the notification bell. Will we see a toucan? And as a reminder, if you haven't watched the Crocodile adventure, you have missed a thrilling expedition on the Rio Grande Tarcoles. So go hit that video now.